guys, Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training. We're heading to Wands again, do some ring sport. And I've had, last week I put the word out that I've been doing some online digital video type of conferencing to help people with their dogs and be able to give them kind of lessons, that kind of thing. And so I've had about probably half a dozen more people show up and have some dogs that had some pretty good development, all things considered. I mean, these people care about their animals and they want to work them and they want to get in and do stuff with their animals. So that's the right point of view in the very beginning. You can't get anything unless you put the time in and put the work in. So one of those individuals is kind of I've talked about it before, that I've been kind of impressed. He's a little bit more into working with his animals than most folks, and he wants to go a little bit higher level. So that being the case, I'm kind of turning them on to some of my resources and trying to get him started. He's got a 13-week-old Dutch Shepherd. And as usual, I don't mention names, but I kind of give an overview of who they are, the age of the dog, that kind of thing. And this gentleman's doing a pretty good job, and he's gotten online with one of the top trainers that's online, doing online videos that I have a lot of respect for. The guy knows his stuff. And this person not being as aware and cognizant of what's going on in the dog training field and just getting into it, has bitten off an awful lot. He's got the dog doing all kinds of stuff. So the first thing I wanted to do is get him to slow down a little bit, because you end up being on YouTube and you're watching these videos and you start not putting the pieces together in the right order, or you're not cognizant and aware of being relative to drive state and all this sort of thing. So the first thing that I noticed when he sent me a video on this dog working was he had the dog doing the behaviors, but the dog's mental attitude, his drive state, wasn't as high up as I'd like. This is a Dutch Shepherd. So his first goal at that young age of a puppy, and that's going to be true with any dog you're working, especially a young dog, but is to create engagement, okay? So look into that. If you're working your dog, you want to get better at getting your dog to work, the dog's got to be invested in and want, and you're going to need to build drives in this want area, either wanting the food, turning the food into a chasing prey item, and doing that, and then setting your markers with that. And then the other thing that I had a discussion with him about was how I do things, and very methodically put in the things in the right order. So I usually always start with food and luring and conditioning the dog to a clicker. Okay, I believe in a clicker because I want to add that tool to my tool bag, right? Very important. And then after I've got him getting motivated by the food and he's getting lured by the behaviors by my hand, and I built drive with chase games, coming after the food, explosion release off of that table. You guys have seen me do a lot of this stuff already. That's the next thing I do is building drive for the food and a little bit of chase games. And we call it engagement, okay? The dog has to be engaged with me if he's going to learn. If he's not engaged with me, he's not going to do very well as learning and growing, right? Even though his dog was learning all kinds of things, okay? But you don't want to, if you're going to get into a higher level of training and get into sport or doing anything, and even if you're not, I still want these things in place in the right order in my tool bag, right? As I add them to the dog's vocabulary, and that's the way you look at it. You look at it as vocabulary. You're adding more things into your tool bag that he understands and that you can use in your training. And this isn't just now, today. This means it's going to stay with the dog forever. You'll be able to pull it out of your tool bag and promote the dog's motivation towards that individual item and individual routine and patterns, right? Everything's built on patterns. So the next thing he'll do as he goes along is he'll start adding in another marker from his terminal bridge marker to good. And so you just keep adding these things slowly but surely and making sure that his vocabulary and he understands each one of these little things as you build. But behind all that, the hinge point, the nucleus of everything is engagement. If the dog's not engaged and not motivated and doesn't want it and he's not having fun, he's not going to learn as much. You've done that. You go through learning. You have a teacher that makes things fun and makes it a little creative. You learn a lot faster. You learn a lot easier. than if you're trying to struggle to understand a concept, right? So that was what I counsel him on, and I feed it back to the world through my videos so you guys can all learn from it. So engagement, very important word. So if you're going to get into it, realize that that's got to be a big nucleus of what you're working on, right? I'm getting done with Aces, the gentle giant, my big old Rottweiler. I'll be going home tomorrow, Monday. And that's exactly what I told the customer when they came in, and I tell all my customers. I don't really, in the first part of the training structure, I don't really worry about heel, sit down, stand, the behaviors as much as I do as where the dog's head's at in the work. And so that's all about engagement, him being happy and wanting, going after those drive states that you've got to increase. Now you need to be aware of it so that it doesn't get in the way of learning, because if the dog's too drivey, it's going to cause a problem because he's not on a learning state of mind. So being aware of that you're always manipulating drive state within your work and being cognizant aware of it is very important when you're working an animal. All right? So that's pretty much it. I'm going to head down to Juan's. I did some more video. I did last week too, but I didn't post it. I'll post some today and see if I can get somebody else to film a little more, and then show you his development as we go along with Buddy. Buddy's doing a real good job. I'm real happy with the work that Juan's given me, and it's exactly what I needed. You know, somebody to coach me. You know, we're not all perfect. We're human. We need spotters. We need people that speak the same language as I do, just like you're trying to get the dog to speak the same language as you, so that they can spot and they can critique and they can give me a perspective that I may not see because I've got blinders on. I'm a human being, and we all tend to live in a kind of a fishbowl. I see my perspective, but I may not be able to see it from outside of that fishbowl like somebody else will that's not clouded by those blinders that we have a tendency to have on us, right? Very important. So keep that in mind. That's why we go to other people, and we find people that we respect, people that we know have the knowledge base to be able to give us what we need. Very important. Okay? If you're going to learn and grow and become a better trainer, always better to have people around you that are into the same passions that you are, right? That's why we go out to clubs and we go out to different events, and we do what I do. I hang out all over the place, right? And I don't have one discipline. I'm not just all Schutzen because I'm not out to get awards and titles. I'm out to increase my quality of my craft and my skill level. And it's never ending. It's like I told that gentleman this weekend in his class. You never stop learning. You never stop, if you're good, you never stop reaching to learn and grow. And there's always somebody out there that'll give you something, right? So that's why I'm a seminar junkie. I love to go to seminars because of that reason right there. I love to learn and grow. I'll always be honing my craft. It never ends. That's the fun part of this trade. It's a great thing because you're always learning. There's always something new. Nothing is set in stone, and there's nothing that is not to be revealed. I mean, there's always something out there, right? So, all right, I'll let you guys go. Mark Ferrasci, ProTech Dog Training, on my way to Compton, going to the hood. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.